Must be nice. I wish I could afford stuff like that, but I'm just too broke. Whether it's guns, cars, or anything else for that matter, you're going to run into those people that would prefer to complain about the plight that they're in rather than find a solution to a problem. Recently I spoke to a guy that, and we just engaged in a little bit of a conversation about guns, and I was talking to him about some of the things that I was doing, and he listened intently, and then we closed the conversation when he said, "Man, it must be nice. I wish I could do that, but I just don't have the money for it." Well, that got me thinking. You know, if you're really honest with yourself, would it be a true statement to say that we always make time and find resources for the things that we prioritize? As I kind of reflect on my life, I've always, when I set my mind to something, it gets done. That's just the way it is, and I'm sure it's that way with you too. So, am I making light of a situation where somebody might not have the money? Well, no, I'm not. I know exactly where you're coming from. I'm broke too. But it's a problem, sure, but there's always a solution to a problem. That's what problems are for us. They're for us to find solutions to. So, you know, I started thinking about, okay, well, how could somebody go out and buy, let's say, a gun when they don't think that they can afford it? Well, first of all, saying I can't afford a gun because I'm broke is saying that the situation I find myself in today is going to define my future. Don't do that. Don't let where you're at today define where you're going to be a week, a month, a year, or 10 years from now. But I acknowledge that, you know, especially in today's world, money's hard to come by, and stuff like this really isn't probably on the top shelf of priorities. And I wanted to buy this gun. It came available. A friend of mine was offered to sell this to me for a reasonable price, and I thought, yeah, I'd like to have a 308. In fact, I was looking into a 308 before I got the AR. And I know that I don't know all the history of this gun, but I know the guy that I bought it from, and I've known him since for over a decade, for 15 years I've known him. And I know he's had this gun for as long as I've known him. So, you know, but I also knew that he was looking to sell it, and he didn't care if he sold it to me or any Tom, Dick, or Harry that came along. But he was willing to hold it for me till the end of January. I asked him, could you just hold it till the end of January? I'll problem solve and I'll find a way to afford it. Well, this is how I afforded it. So, as you can see, that's just one method. I mean, all I did was go to the range and pick up. I didn't even have to get a shovel. I just picked up the stuff that was laying there at the burn. And, you know, I smelted the lead and fluxed it and cleaned it and poured it into ingots, and I sold it on eBay. And 50% of the purchase price of this gun came from that. I sold a gun. I sold my Sky, and I got $250 for that, what I paid for it. And the rest, over the last 45 days, I've saved. Now, there's a lot of things you can do if you live in a state that has a bottle deposit. Get off your ass, get off the couch, turn the TV off, and go walk the roads and pick up cans. Even if you don't have a deposit in your state, especially if you don't have deposit in your state, there's cans all over the place. I know I financed my first 3 months of living in Las Vegas on aluminum cans. It's hard work, but when you got to pay the bills and you're hungry, you'll do what you got to do. Now I still have all the copper jackets from those bullets. I got to get hold of the scrapper here in town to find out if they'll take those, or I might have to invest a little bit of money and build a little homemade forge and melt those into ingots. $3 a pound for copper. And there's probably 75 pounds of copper sitting right there. So, you know, is it a problem? Is it a reason, or is it an excuse? Does it really matter? Reason or excuse, the results are the same. You know, I'm talking about a gun in particular, but the principle applies in general, whether it's a car, a house. Look, you don't have the money now? Fine. Problem solve. Find a way to get it. I just showed you one method that you can get a gun, even though you can't afford it, without hurting your family's finances too much. Now, if you gave me another 45 days, I could have paid for this whole thing just by recycling range scrap and aluminum cans. So, if there's a will, there's a way. And this particular firearm here is it's an oldie but a goodie. This is based on the HK G3. This is a clone, actually. It's a Federal Arms Corporation FA91 chambered in 308. And I tell you what, this thing kicks like a stuck mule. Without that brake, it'll leave a strawberry the size of Texas on your shoulder. Enough of my jaw jacking and storytelling. Let's go shoot this pig. Yeah.